Hey, what's up guys, I'm Victorian and welcome back to Victoria 3 as we are playing as the United States. So in today's episode we're going to be continuing with our economic management, just improving our economy, improving our GDP and, fixing some of the issues we've got. And we'll actually be doing some kind of radical changes here, hopefully in this episode. But first, we've got all this other stuff we need to construct. I've added some new stuff there, and there's actually a couple things that we need to do, that we need to prioritize, put up at the top here, because we're having some market access problems in Pennsylvania. So we've built so much there that they have used all their infrastructure. So we need to get another railway there. And New York is pretty close as well, only +4 infrastructure remaining. So we're going to build one in New York too. And then New York is also slightly above their taxation capacity, so we need to get another government administration building there. And I should have used the Alt key, because apparently, and I'm going to test that out, apparently if you hold the Alt key while you do this, then it'll tick it right to the top. A lot of other Paradox games have that function. So yeah, it would be useful whenever we know that we want it at the top to go ahead and do that. So yeah, seems like it works as intended. All right, excellent. So let me go and close this here. And we didn't do that with the railways, so let's go ahead and throw those at the top. Because again, we are having some market access problems in Pennsylvania, and New York will be there soon as well. Pretty much, probably as soon as we built this there, we probably have some issues. And then I added a couple things here before we started the episode. Lead mines, iron mines, and coffee plantations. Those are the three goods that are the most expensive in our country right now. So we're going to work on all that, and we got another construction sector too. I did forget to mention that I built another construction sector, so we'll be able to get even more stuff building at the same time. With all these gold mines, I think it should kind of help make up for those costs. Hopefully, we'll see. But we're also about to make some really large changes, as I said before, in our economy. As soon as we get all this built, we'll start working on that. And so that'll result in us having profit as well. But you can see here, as long as we're not building any like government buildings, we make a profit. So we're doing pretty good. We got 10 million in the gold reserves at the moment. So yeah, we're doing fantastic when it comes to money. So now that we have some open construction here, we can go and start working on our little project here. And in order to start that, we're going to need a ton of ports. Remember, the ports construct those convoys for us. And so that we can do a lot of trade, and you guys will see why here in a minute. But currently we have a little bit of excess, but we're going to need, or I'm going to want, a lot more than that. And if we have too much, then that's fine. This also increases infrastructure, so not completely useless. It gives jobs as well. So there are some advantages to having these constructed. So I don't know how many we're going to build, probably quite a few. So let's go with New York. We'll get 2 in New York. Maybe 1 here in Massachusetts, 1 in Maine, 1 in Florida, 1 in Texas, and 1 in California. All right. So let all those construct, and then we'll have a lot of convoys. We might also have some problems with the cost of ships, but we're not going to do anything with that just yet because, well, you'll see why. Because we're going to be making some adjustments there. And these, again, I don't think this is our problem here. I mean, maybe we just don't have enough convoys for them to increase the level, as it's saying here, but that, I don't know, man. I feel like we got excess, plenty enough excess there. Colorado also has market access issues. Okay, we got the rails in those other 2 states, but not in Colorado, so we will need to get that going, and we'll probably just tick that up to the top as well. All right, so make sure that we get that finished up. Fix the rail issues in those 3 locations. And let me see if there's anything else. So these are probably not going to be a problem soon. So again, not something we're gonna mess with there. I mean, the fertilizer could be an issue. We'll see, guys, once we make these adjustments. First, we got to get the ports before we can do anything else. So we need to get all these ports going. So we'll have lots of excess convoys in case we need them, which I expect we probably will. Now, it looks like we're not using all our construction either, so we might want to go ahead and get something else built. But let me just see how we're looking on the convoys. I mean, I guess that, yeah, maybe they did have some issues here. I don't know, we have all these excess convoys, so they're clearly using some of them, though. So maybe they just didn't have enough to to increase, but you think hundreds would be enough to get one more level. But yeah, let's go ahead and get more ports. We haven't built a lot of these, so I'm not entirely sure where we'll be at yet. You know what, let me see if there's any other issues that we could work on right now. Anything else that's like really high. Most costs seem to be pretty good. Fabric's getting a little high, glass, tools. So I suppose we could work on those. Yeah, we'll do those for now. Yeah, I don't want to do too much of other stuff. Because a lot of prices are going to be changing soon. So just get one cotton plantation. And I suppose we can go with a location that already has them. I don't know where we haven't. Maybe we should look to see if there's any locations that have like really low standard of living, like Oklahoma there. Not great standard of living and is capable of building these, and maybe that's something we should look at so we can spread out the wealth a little bit. Because yeah, we kind of build in the same states to a degree. So yeah, it would be helpful if we spread it out just a little bit. Like, let me just take a look. Like, is there anywhere that would be really profitable to build these that doesn't have them? I mean, it looks like the most profitable locations are ones that we already have locations, so we should probably just build there then. So yeah, we'll build both of them here in locations that already have glassworks. And then the last thing, what was that? There's one more, tools. Yeah, so we're going to get the tool workshops. And so we could just build in one of these, I suppose. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll just build in one of these ones. And we'll go with maybe Georgia or Alabama. They got a lot of peasants as well. Yeah, I guess we'll do Alabama and Georgia. Why not? All right, so it'll keep on constructing until we know how we're looking with these ports once we get those finished up. And then we'll see how we are doing on the trade routes. On the convoys, I should say. So we currently have 6,900 now. I still haven't finished those up just yet. Also the industrialists. And we might be, yeah, it looks like we're losing that bonus now, the capitalist investment pool, unfortunately. I don't know, it's going back and forth right now, actually. So it's hard to say exactly what's going on there. But yeah, a lot of problems here. But again, we're not going to make any adjustments just yet, because we're going to be doing some big changes here. So all we need to do is get those 2 ports finished up. We'll see where we're at on convoys. Yeah, we're definitely making use of some of those as we get them. Temporary embarrassment. So ambitious middle strata citizens are opposing proportional taxation on the grounds that when they inevitably become wealthy capitalists, they'll be excessively taxed. I love that, inevitably, because of course they're all going to get rich, right? So we can say they should be more realistic. This will decrease the enactment success chance while increasing the minimum expected standard of living, so basically just negative. Or we can say sway them with the tax cut, and we'll reduce our income tax rate for 2 years while increasing the enactment success chance. Okay, well, it's pretty low. I don't really want to give up 10% income tax, but we are making a lot of money, so yeah, we'll do that. It'll help our pops as well. And I was going to be cutting taxes as soon as this passed anyway, more than likely. So yeah, it's not for that long. It's 2 years, so basically 71 is when maybe we could increase taxes again. Now that hit us pretty hard because we weren't earning a lot from the income taxes, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, pretty unfortunate that we got hit with that. I did not expect it to be that much to make that big of a difference, but yeah, clearly had a large effect there. But we got a huge gold reserve, so I don't really think it's an issue. Also, we have all this opened up here, so I think we're ready. We've gotten all the ports done. I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. Yeah, we've got a lot of available convoys. We also got plenty of trade routes we could cancel. We probably will have to. So what the big major changes that I've been alluding to in this episode is I've done this in a couple of my campaigns. You end up getting like a ton of production methods that you haven't enacted yet, because you know they're going to affect prices too much if you enact them. So basically, this results in you having to slowly change these so that you don't increase the prices too much. You can't just do massive changes to all of them, because then it gets too expensive and it makes everybody go broke, and you get lots of radicals and pisses everybody off, right? So you end up having to like slowly change these and slowly build up the industry for the resources that these new production methods are going to be using. And because you're doing so many and you're unlocking tech so quick, because you move through the tech tree really quick, it ends up being a lot to try and get everything done. And you're also dealing with other price changes, fluctuation in prices on top of just the normal ones, on top of the changes you're making here. And so it's a very slow process and takes many years. And I find myself getting kind of I don't know, bored with the micromanagement of the production methods a little bit, because you got to go in here and changing them one at a time and stuff, so you don't increase the prices too much. So one thing I tried a couple times is to just change everything, change over all the production methods that you might want to change. Now this results in radical changes in prices, pretty significant changes, because you're changing entire industries. So the prices are going to get very expensive or really cheap, for certain goods. And that's the reason why we want all those convoys, so that we can just trade for the goods that get too expensive or trade away the goods that get too cheap. So we need a lot of convoys for that. Now, there are some exceptions to this where it doesn't work. If you're doing a new good that nobody else has access to, then obviously you can't trade for it. If you're, nobody else is producing engines and you're about to radically increase the price of engines, there's not much you can do there. This is overall going to greatly increase our GDP eventually. But it's going to hurt for a little while, and it is what it is. We're going to use the convoys and trade to try and offset some of it, but I think this is the best way to do it. Just make all these changes all at once for all the production method. I mean, it's not the best way to do it. The best way to do it is slowly and make the adjustments, keep the prices from getting too high. But this is the best way to do it when you're feeling lazy. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead and make all the changes that we might want to make. So groceries here. We're going to go ahead and just switch all of them over to baking powder. That's going to result in grain prices going up, sugar prices going up. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, some things we might not want to change over to. So, for instance, with the vacuum canning, this might result in groceries being far too cheap. And then you also are affecting all those other prices. So I'm not sure if we're going to want to do that or not. Primarily because of the oil. We don't even have oil yet. So I don't think we're going to switch over to that right now, guys. Now, we could go over to canneries, which is not as huge of changes. So I think we will do that. We'll switch them all over to canneries. Here, now this one's, not as easy to do, because do you want that much liquor in your market? Because it's going to result in it being really cheap. I guess we can trade it away. But yeah, glass is going to get very expensive, sugar as well. But again, we're not considering any of that. I think we'll have so many groceries from these other changes that we should be all right. Yeah, we should be all right on this. So you know what? We're going to do this. Liquor is something that you'll see the demand for get very high. We're also going to be changing all these up too. So we're going to go over to publicly traded here. Textile mills, the electric sewing machines. Here's another big one we're going to be making, guys. And electricity is one thing we cannot trade for. So this is going to be a major issue. Electricity is going to get super expensive. But again, we're just going to do it. And we'll eat it, and we'll eat the costs, and it'll be really expensive for some people. It'll be a bit rough, but that's what we're going to do, guys. We can also try to get rid of, because remember, we're making a lot of changes here. So we could do some of these, to get rid of some of the laborers. I don't know if that's the best option. I don't think we're going to do any of the automation ones right now, guys, because, again, labor is not really an issue for us, and we're making all these other changes. So it might be too much for the market, I think. Furniture manufacturers, this is one you do need to play around with a little bit, because, go one by one, because, you just don't know if you actually need to change over that. So won't need to do anything here. We can't go over to the publicly traded, I suppose. That does result in them losing some money, but they can actually eat that. So you get the more capitalists here. Yeah, we'll go over to that. And then glassworks, we know we're going to need some changes here, because glass is already a little bit expensive, but with those changes we just made, it's going to get very expensive. So this will require less wood and a lot more lead. That's okay. So here's another one of those luxury ones. I think the luxury ones are the exceptions, the ones that we don't want to just change all of them, because, it's really about, do you need to? Do you need to change them? Depends on the prices. So this is another automation one. I don't think we'll need to do that. Yeah, we're just going to go through all of them. Paper bleaching. So dyes are going to get very expensive, and we now have the tech to build for that. So I think we're just going to go ahead and do it. We could really use the paper, because we need to build more government administration buildings for the bureaucracy. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this. Going to require wood, sulfur, and dye. Grant a bunch of paper. But remember, some of the production methods we're going to change are going to grant some of those things. Chemical plants. So, this is how fertilizer is going to become even cheaper. You're going to require a lot of iron. And isn't this requiring... Yeah, this is requiring electricity. A lot more explosives. I don't know if that's going to be necessary, guys. So we won't change that up. Synthetic plants. I don't think there's anything to change here. We did just get this outside of the publicly traded, I suppose. So we're going to do that. The steel mills. I don't think we have anything here. Same thing with motor industries. Not really anything to change here either. Shipyard. So this is one of the ones we've been waiting on. We got the steamships. So this is going to result in us producing tons of steamers and really not any clippers. And that's why we need to do all these changes at the same time. I mean, you don't have to, but obviously there is no demand for steamers right now, while there is a demand for clippers. So huge changes in the good consumptions here. A lot less fabric and wood needed, while a lot more engines, steel, and coal are going to be required. So yeah, I think with the military stuff, we're not really needing to make any adjustments there. Covered markets. Services are already fairly cheap, so I don't think this is one we're going to change, because nothing's really using it. So there's not going to be an additional requirement for services right now. So we don't need to change that up. We don't need to do that either. Again, any of the automation things that reduce workers is not really needed for us. We do want to go to standardized filing system. So that was one thing we were waiting to do. Look how much bureaucracy this can produce. We might not even need to build any more government administration buildings because of how much bureaucracy this is going to create. But it does require a lot more paper. But remember, that's why we changed the paper bleaching up. And of course, we couldn't do that before because we didn't have the dyes. So that's the reason why we didn't go to this, because we didn't have the dyes to produce the more paper. And also, I didn't know it was going to produce that much more. That's a lot of extra bureaucracy there. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and change that up. I think everything else down here is good to go. So let's go ahead and move over to the rural. So I know we went to fertilizers for the wheat, rice, and the wheat and rice farms, but not the maize ones. So that's going to use some of that fertilizer that we just produced. It's going to use a lot. So we'll see. Fertilizer might get really expensive now, requiring us to shut down all those trade routes. These ones still kind of the same thing, that you want to change those for each one, I think. So we're already on public traded for all those. Livestock ranches. So you go to the intensive grazing, you're getting a lot more fabric, a lot more fertilizer, but you're going to require more grain. I think grain's going to be pretty cheap now. So yeah, we can go and change over to that. It's going to make more money for the livestock ranches, which, they're profitable, but not that profitable. Electric fences, reducing the labor. Again, not doing any of those ones. I think we're good on all the mines, more than likely. Could go to rail transportation, I suppose. Again, reducing workers. But yeah, I think most of the mine ones have been changed, but clearly not all. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a new territory they got. So this will help reduce the price of iron, but we need more tools and coal. More explosives going to be required here. And so yeah, we're going to change all of these ones up. All the mines, guys. Get more of those goodies. And these ones have already been changed up. We've been making sure those gold mines are making as much as possible here. Looks like coffee plantations don't have any adjustments to make. We don't have the automatic irrigation yet. That tech is, let's see here, pump jacks. So yeah, I can't change any of these ones up right now. Logging camps. So do we want to have them all go over to the electric sawmills? Sure, why not? Let's do it. Again, this is one we would want to base that off of if we even need to do that. And this is a problem with qualifications. It's a lot of capitalists that are being changed up, being added to it, and it's not that profitable. So let's not do that one. Fishing wharfs. So this is one of the big ones we had to change here, so that we'll be actually needing those steamers over the clippers. So this is going to produce a ton more fish, which is great for those canneries with that cannery adjustment we just made, where they're going to need a lot more fish. So this is all kind of feeding into it, which is why it's such a pain in the butt to do it, because you got to each production method's got to be adjusted with another production method or with the construction of something. Well, it's just kind of a pain. So we're going to probably go ahead and do these steam-powered wellers as well. But looking at these, it seems it's going to produce the same amount of oil meat. Okay, so good production isn't actually changing there. But it is going to result in them, earning money, but that's also because it's using the old values that clippers are expensive and steamers are not. So it's going to change that up. and just, there's no adjustments to be made down here. So we're done with the rural, the development ones. We'll just make sure they're all on what they're supposed to be on, but the military is not really something we're messing with too much. So with the naval base, I'd like to go over to ironclads, but of course we did not make those adjustments with the shipyards because that was in here. So yeah, we didn't change that up at all. Let me just take a look here and see. Yeah, they're all currently building just the civilian shipbuilding. So we might want to wait to do this production method until we know what the demand is. But we will change over to ironclad, and that'll kind of let us know what the demand is. We'll wait till updates and all that kind of good stuff. But this is going to give us 1,200 Navy power projection, which means we're going to have a lot more prestige. Also going to affect our maximum declared interest. So yeah, we'll get like 1.5 more declared interest. Again, the interest areas is not really something we've been concerned with. Yeah, it's going to require no man of wars now, and instead we're going to need ironclads. So let's go ahead and switch that over. Yeah, that's already done. With the railways, I did skip the ports. That's right, we want to go over to the industrial ports. Because yeah, without that, the clippers are going to be in good shortage because we're not producing that anymore. So look at all those convoys we're going to have. I completely forgot that we're changing this up. So convoys are not going to be an issue anymore. We're going to be absolutely good on the convoys. Don't want to change these up right now because transportation is not the problem, while infrastructure is. Alright, so I think that's it. So huge changes to the economy, as you guys saw. Let's let it play through the week. Ironclads was completed as well, since we're now producing that. So we got the event. That was one of those journal entries. The introduction of vessels with metal skin hulls represents nothing less than a revolution in naval warfare. Near impervious to traditional types of shot, Admiral Irving McClernand assures us that American dominion of the seas will be absolute. So we say this will make our line of battle invincible. This will increase our Navy defense for 9 years. That's helpful because if you just got it for a few years, obviously they're not going to war anytime soon, so wouldn't help us that much. Metal bows, metal rams, what could go wrong? Increases our Navy offense by 20% while decreasing defense. Or United States of America rules waves and increase our Navy power projection. I mean, we're already a great power. Other than for bragging rights, getting higher up here is not going to have that much of an effect. It affects you in diplomatic plays and stuff, I suppose. But overall, I mean, we're already doing pretty good, and I think we're going to move up with all those changes we just made. So I don't think we need the power projection. I'd prefer to increase the defense up. Yeah, we'll do that. Armored line of battle. All right, excellent. So yeah, massive changes, guys. Let's take a look at the economy because we can expect that things are going to be pretty bad. So ironclads, we didn't make that adjustment yet, so that's the reason why those are so expensive. And electricity, we're expecting that. Coal, pretty expensive as well. So we'll start working all that. But let's get the ironclad situation dealt with first in the shipyards, because we knew we were going to have to. Do this. So we want to go probably all the way to extensive. Yeah, I think we're going to go to extensive here. And we know we don't want to change them all up. Yeah, that will result in ironclads being pretty cheap. Remember, we don't want to get the steamers too expensive. It's not something to consider. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get this producing the coal and the electricity. Probably tools as well. We're already building tools up. Ammunition has gotten pretty expensive though, so we're going to need to get that going. Okay, so a lot of stuff for us to work on. And we're going to start with that coal. We just industrialized quite a bit, and so that's the reason why that's pretty expensive. Alright, so just looking at where we might want to build this, again, kind of like considering the standard of living here and where it's pretty bad. Like I'm thinking maybe in Utah, because Utah doesn't have much. Yeah, I think it makes sense to do it in Utah. Maybe West Virginia as well. There's good earnings to be had here. You got some peasants. Well, Utah doesn't have any. Okay, my bad. So we'll have to build something else there in Utah. Neither does Arizona. Yeah, just trying to increase the standard of living in some places. So they don't have any either. So that's not really an option. Okay, so I think that's good. We'll build the one, or we'll get 2 in West Virginia there. But obviously we're going to need a bit more than that. Cuba apparently would be very profitable. Louisiana, Could build some up. Colorado. We'll do Colorado. Maybe Wyoming as well. All right, so we've got a lot of coal mines going now. Electricity. This is something we're going to want to move up to the top because we're using a lot of it, and we're going to continue building in the same location. New York. So let's go ahead and get, I don't know, maybe 3 of those. I don't know if that's going to be too much, but yeah, we could always. Yeah, it might be too much. Yeah, let's not do that. I don't want to reduce the prices too much. Then it won't be profitable. So yeah, we'll just get the 2, and I should have ticked this up to the top. Okay, so we got the electricity going, we got the coal going, and now we just need to do tools and ammunition. Yeah, so we'll do those next. All right, so with the tooling workshops, we have 2 of those going, but we're going to do 1 more. So let's see where we currently have these already. All right, we could do, I suppose we'll do 1 in Virginia here, or you know what, we can build these anywhere. So what you could do is build it in locations that we had talked about, like here in Utah. I don't know how profitable the Utah one is, but we'll take a look real quick. Let me just scroll through here and see. I mean, it looks like it's gonna be profitable anywhere. So we'll build 1 there in Utah, since we already have the 2 going. That's all we'll get. And then the ammunition was the other thing. So let's go ahead and do that as well in the munition plants here. So we currently have 2 in Virginia and 2 in New York. And those would not be profitable. So let's just go ahead and build them somewhere else. Maybe Louisiana. I don't think we built much there. So it makes sense to get it there. We get 2 of those. All right, excellent. So lots of stuff building now. And yeah, major radical changes. You can already see our GDP has gone up by, I think, like 9 million, a little over 9 million, just from those adjustments. So, and it's going to continue to increase quite rapidly as well. So yeah, big, massive changes there, guys, that are going to affect our economy significantly. And look at the loyalists. That has stepped up quite a bit as the radicals has decreased. So very nice. We did just get the steam donkeys. That was not the tech we were researching, spread to us. And this is going to reduce the number of laborers. So yeah, I don't know that we're going to need to actually go over to that on any of those. Because remember, that's all these ones here. Oops. Over here on the steam automation. So until workers becomes an issue, which I do not expect to be a problem anytime soon, outside of certain states perhaps. But yeah, I do not expect to be an issue because of migration. How many people are coming to America to enjoy all the rights that the Americans enjoy and to enjoy our booming economy here. And so yeah, I really don't expect that we're going to have problems with labor anytime soon. So we don't need to do the automation and take people's jobs. And that would just result in more peasants who aren't making much of a profit. So the bureaucracy did not change as much as it said. Yeah, I don't think that was right, because we've changed a lot of those over. I'm thinking just the new states and their government buildings were the only ones that changed up there. Yeah. Now, it does take a little while for production methods to enact sometimes. They're not all immediate. But look at, we've already jumped from 4 to 3. So we climbed above Russia now. Now, our GDP is still significantly lower than France or Britain. And look at France, man. They are now #1. They have beat the British. Wow. That's interesting. I don't know that I've ever seen France get to the #1 spot in any of my campaigns. I don't think so. I had one where Russia actually became the #1 great power. But the British typically always stay in it. Yeah, they typically almost always stay in the great power spot. Other than not in the top great power spot, I mean, other than the player. I mean, just among the AI countries, which I have not done a British campaign just yet. I think that'd be a fun, interesting one to do at some point. So yeah, maybe it just took time, because you can see the bureaucracy is getting much higher now. We got the gold rush for California, and we really want them going over there, so we're going to do the 125% migration attraction, try and increase that population here. They're already up to 799 now, so yeah, a lot of people moving there. GDP is at 2.18 million. GDP of New York is 16.9 million, 14% of our country's total GDP. Cuba's up to 4% of it at 5.19 million. Looks like the population is going down here, though. People are actually leaving. Yeah. Looks like it's definitely not a mortality problem, just people leaving. We got a couple events here. So the upper strata have decided to donate generously to the poor. Many among them even advocate for the proportional taxation law, agreeing that it would be a fair means of redistributing wealth. Okay, interesting. So the upper strata actually, or some of them anyway, actually support this. So we can encourage charitable giving, and this will increase the enactment success chance by 10%. Would also increase the standard of living for the lower strata just for 2 years, while reducing the minimum expected standard of living for the upper strata, because yeah, they're giving away some of their money. Or you can leverage their support for proportional taxation and get a 20% increase. You know, I think helping out the lower strata would be helpful, so that's what we're gonna do. Look at the number of loyalists now, guys, because of those massive changes we made. Everybody's profiting. And so that's why I do this. We didn't face the extreme cost changes that I was expecting. I mean, given some of these goods are very expensive, coffee's getting expensive because more people have money to pay for it. And obviously we know that electricity is going to get expensive there. But yeah, it wasn't as drastic as I was expecting it to be with all those production methods we changed. We do want to take a look at the trade situation, because some of these goods might not be productive anymore. And yeah, we knew about the fertilizer. So I think we're going to go ahead and cancel the fertilizer ones. It's clearly not making a profit there. We have a ton of available convoys, so lots of room to play around there. Let's actually take a look and see if there's anything we want to trade away. I was thinking wood. That's typically the thing I like to trade. Steamers have actually gotten really cheap, so I think we're going to change more of those production methods up. Grain's really cheap. I actually like grain being really cheap. Help our people out, so we're not going to trade that away. Artillery, pretty good. I think the rest of these are pretty good, guys. So really just wood is what we're going to want to go ahead and trade. So let's go and start another export route. We're also not building anything over here, so we need to get that fixed. So yeah, we're going to go for the productivity, though. France is going to want a lot. Now, given, it doesn't mean that you're going to trade that much away, because the moment it doesn't become productive, the idea here is that they're going to stop creating new levels. But that's not what I've seen, man. Unfortunately, that's just not been the way that it's worked. It's they just keep on doing it until eventually it's not profitable anymore, and then you got to cancel it, or you at least get an alert about it. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to balance itself very well, like it's supposed to. Because the idea here is that if it gets too high and it's not profitable, then they're supposed to decrease the level, but it just doesn't seem to happen that way. So I think instead we're going to trade with the Russians. I'm a little surprised they actually need wood in Russia, because they have plenty of wood. It's not quite as profitable, but we don't have to worry about them increasing it too far in level, hopefully, because we actually can eat that. I mean, we could easily trade that and would be a good price. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that trade route. And then the other thing we needed to do was adjust the steamers. So let's go and take care of that, which will just be changing up those production methods here in the shipyards. Changing another one of these over to the extensive military shipping, decreasing the price of ironclad significantly, while increasing the price of steamers, and it's going to be profitable for Massachusetts. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. I mean, it looks like Maine can't even make money doing this, but I think that'll change now, because of course the clippers are going to be, or excuse me, the steamers are going to be more expensive with us changing those. So I think they should be okay, as we don't want to make it too imbalanced there. We do need to build stuff. I keep on pausing it. So we've already seen this one before. So we'll go ahead and increase the standard of living. Now, the reason why this is negative is because in 2 years, the standard of living is going to decrease, and that's going to create radicals as they get irritated that their standard of living has decreased. And significantly, it decreased by 2. But those that just had it increased by 2 are going to become more loyalists, so it kind of balances itself out, I suppose. So yeah, let's go and get some stuff building. I was supposed to do this, and then I didn't. So obviously, the first thing to get is electricity. We need more, a lot more. We'll go up maybe three levels, since it is kind of expensive. Coffee, we need more coffee as well. We're already building the munition plant, so that's not a problem. But lead is, and fabric. Okay, so let's go and get the coffee. Again, we know we only have one location for that, so go and build a couple there. Don't want them to get too unprofitable. Lead. Need more lead mines here. So let's go with Illinois. Has a lot of room there, so we're going to go with Illinois, I think. And let's see what else we need. Fabric. So we'll go ahead and get more cotton plantations. You can also do the livestock. That's going to produce some fabric, but obviously it also produces fertilizer, meat, so you have other effects. So we'll just go with the cotton plantations. And as far as most profitable place, it does look like Oklahoma is where it's at right now. Let's build 2 there. Wine, we've just been trading for the wine for now, but we could change up more production methods, I suppose. And then there's the glass and the tools. We got tool shops building, but we'll build another one, and then we'll do the glass. Yeah, we'll do one more for the tooling workshops. And let me just take a look and see where we want to get it. Yeah, we could do Virginia. And then the glass works here. We'll do this in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. Look at that standard of living, man. Looking nice. 16.9. And so probably the highest among the great powers. Not the highest in the world. The Belgians enjoy a very good standard of living. Canada, our northern neighbors. Interesting. So, yeah, we have the 5th highest standard of living. That's pretty good for a great power. You notice there's no other great powers up here in the top 5. So, yeah, pretty good there. And then, of course, our prestige, we're number 3 here. GDP, we're number 4. Climbing on up. Yeah, Britain's kind of getting beat out here, aren't they? They're really declining. Look at France. What's going on with France? Did they just do the same thing we did? You know what? I wonder if they at all profited from our adjustments, since there's so much trade between our 2 countries. I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to happen at the same time. Let's see how we know about those. Trying to fix those. Arizona's still currently in turmoil. I don't think we built much in Arizona, so we really need to give them a little bit of love here and get them something constructed. Because, yeah, we don't want anybody in turmoil, but it looks like they're not anymore. All right, so they're feeling better now. So, yeah, doing very good across the board on everything except for our own money. We're kind of broke, guys. All this construction, and also that reduction of income taxes, that's going to be until 1871. And so we should see the money hop back up. But this has been very expensive here because of everything we're building and that reduction of income taxes. Luckily, we had a massive gold reserve, so we're absolutely fine. It's not a problem, guys. We need to get more construction going. Some of these aren't going to be updated yet. So it looks like steel now, very expensive. I haven't done the glass yet. Is the coffee still going? Probably hasn't quite adjusted, but clearly need more. And then more chemical plants as well. Okay, now let me take a look at fertilizer's price, because fertilizer's too cheap. No, we could build more chemical plants. I was gonna say we could just change up the production methods. So yeah, let's go with the steel. Get that started first. I never find anything. Again, nothing's in alphabetical order, so you just gotta look for everything. It's kind of silly they did that. I mean, eventually, I guess if you played enough, you'd know where everything's at. I find myself having to like look from left to right or whatever, try and find everything. But yeah, I guess if you played a long time, then you'd figure it out. Ohio, I suppose we're going to continue building these up. There's not much profitability to be had in Pennsylvania right now, unfortunately. So we'll go one more level. That's just going to keep getting more expensive. And then we do need to do more copy. I know they haven't gotten all of their workers yet, but as people get more expensive, they're going to want more coffee. So we'll build that up by a little bit by 2. And then the chemical plants is the other thing we need here, guys. And it looks like also lead mines. Okay, so let's go with those chemical plants. So where are we at here? So we'll just do... See, one issue is I'm not entirely sure which ones we've changed up yet. So we should probably do it through here. Typically when you have these buildings that produce multiple things, and sometimes it's better to do it in here because you can see which ones you've changed. And you know what? We've actually changed them all. Okay, so it's not a problem. I was thinking we hadn't changed them over just yet. But yeah, that means it's not a problem. We can just build in any of these particular locations. We'll just go with the one that's going to be most profitable. Seems like they're going to earn the same amount in all of them, probably because they have the same number of chemical plants. So yeah, we could just go ahead and build in the location that has the most peasants, though we did just build stuff in Ohio, so let's build something somewhere else. We'll go with Indiana here, and Texas. There's something else I need to do. Lead, that's right. So let's go and get the lead mines. Currently doing it in Illinois. Let's get another one in Arkansas. I think Kansas is another place it would be wise for us to build up in. But do we want the lead mines there? They don't really have a high capacity for it. Yeah, we'll probably build something else in Kansas. So we need to build in Kansas and Arizona. 2 locations that'd be helpful to build in. But yeah, definitely watching those gold reserves drop pretty rapidly. So when exactly in 71 does that expire? Okay, it says 17 months. Is it like the very end of 71? It'd have to be like the very end or whatever. And this will end here in 25 months. And of course that one we have for 8 years. Long time that we get those bonuses. You'll notice our infamy is still quite high. Yeah, it's taken a while to burn that down. Now we do have high influence, so that's helping. 25% infamy decay there. You do not want to let infamy get to 100. And unfortunately the gold has been depleted in Nevada. That means we should be able to get more gold mines. So let's go ahead and put them there. And I should have ticked all those up to the top since money is an issue. Kind of. So yeah, we'll go ahead and focus on getting those gold mines constructed. And let's go with the... Yeah, we'll just go with the migration attraction reduction. Because they don't really need more workers. They got all those workers that just left. Or just lost their jobs. We weren't able to do that one. That one's kind of a tricky one to do. I think it requires like DC to have some turmoil. I'm not sure though. So the bureaucracy is another issue. We just saw this event. So I guess we're going to go with this again. Yeah, I'll just go with this one again. I don't think that like increases the amount of years you're going to have it. I think I'll just set it. I don't know. We'll look. Or do you get it twice? Oh, you get it twice. Wow. Okay. So of course one negative when these expire is that the lower strata's standard of living is going to decrease by a lot, so they're not going to be happy about that. Standard of living is very high. And we've improved many states. Still a little low here in Nevada and Utah. Yeah, overall it's looking great. Look at Cuba, man. They're enjoying very good lives in Cuba at this moment. Industrial grade materials. So the industrialists find the high price of steel in the capital an impediment to their ambitions and would like us to prioritize importing it. Okay, so we can say we can find a source of this vital material for the modern age. It sets up a steel import to the Journal of the United States. Or their ambition should be first to make steel, not use it. I don't really want to import it. Because we have our own steel production. So yeah, I think we're just going to do that. You know, again, well, they're not quite as happy as they used to be, are they? But it's not going to result in us losing any bonuses. But yeah, they do not like us as much as they once did. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. Now we got those expensive goods. We can declare more interest. Not that it really matters, guys. I mean, we don't actually care about any of these areas here. But yeah, we'll go ahead and make use of it. So where do we want? I suppose we can do back in the place that we had before. Yeah, why not? And we have additional places. Remember, we just built, or we changed out that production method of our fleet, and so that has helped us out. We could go over this way, I suppose, and say we're interested in, I don't know, Japan. And we have another one. Okay, could say like the Philippines or something, or could do Spain. Why not? All right, so that's it, guys. So quite a few more interests that we were able to declare. And looks like Kurdish people are coming to South Carolina. So lots of people flooding in our country with this very high standard of living. We're already at almost 18 now. So So we might be number 1 in the world. Let's just take a look here. Number 2, just Belgium is just too high. But yeah, we are definitely climbing quite rapidly. Catching up to the British in GDP. So that's great. Population still low compared to many other countries. We, obviously way past Prussia. There's a huge jump here in population between us and Prussia. But we're under Austria by 1 million right now. Japan has a lot of people, 33.5 million. Yeah, very much under the great powers of France and Great Britain and Russia. Of course, China has the highest population in the world and will always have the highest population in the world. So we got a lot of room opened up over here for building. Maybe we won't use all of it since we have already reduced the gold reserves down to 3.88 million, so quite a bit. So maybe not use all of it now until we get that rid of that tax modifier, which we should get rid of this year here. 11 months, maybe not. I guess it was 72. I was thinking it was 71 for some reason. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit longer. So yeah, we won't use all of our construction. So it looks like explosives are still quite high. Electricity still pretty high. As I said, that's going to be a consistent issue. And then we need to get more rails as well. Okay, so I imagine that'll make the engines more expensive, so go ahead and do that too. So let's go and start with the, well, clearly we should start with the explosives and go ahead and get ourselves some more chemical plants. Have we not finished those? Oh, we didn't finish those. Okay, well, I think we need to get another level anyways. So we'll go ahead and do another one here in Ohio. And then electricity, that's real easy to know where to build it. Clearly this is the best place. I know revenue is dropping here, but remember we get that modifier there, so we're going to build up it by 2 more levels. And then is the next one, well, I guess you got fabric, so you could build something for that. Get more of the cotton plantations here. And let me just take a look here. Oklahoma's still the most profitable, so we'll build it there. Get 2 levels there. And then rails. So before we do the rails and build a bunch of those, let's get the coal and the engines. So motor industries going to continue building here in Michigan, even though it says it's not going to be profitable. It'll be fine once we build these engines. And then the coal, let's go ahead and get that going. We have so many locations that can produce coal for us. It's like Cuba is still the #1 here, and they got all those peasants as well, but there's so much other stuff for us to build in Cuba. I'd prefer to build it somewhere else. So let's go with, Pennsylvania's got a lot of peasants, so we'll go there. Let's see where else we might want to construct some. So I'm thinking Colorado and North Carolina here. All right, excellent. So got the coal going, and now we need to do the rails. So with the railways, we're looking for places that don't have one. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do, some of these really don't need it because we haven't been building there. But I think we're just gonna build them in all of them. So we'll have make sure we have rails in every single one of our states. All right, excellent. So now the next thing to do here is to actually add some states. Been waiting to do this for some time. Well, no, that's not what we want to do. We want to do state actions. We're going to go and add these states in. So I don't know if we can get them all. All right, so we're not going to be able to do those 2 right now. So we'll have to do those next. Clearly need more bureaucracy. And we need that anyways. But let's first build all this stuff here. We've got plenty to build. I suppose we could put it on there. It should be 72 by then, so we should be all right on the money situation. I said I wasn't going to use all my construction, but I did anyways. Again, once we pass this, this will result in us earning a lot more money. And so, it's not going to be a problem anymore. It's just taking a while to pass this. This is years that we've been working on this. It just hasn't, we just haven't been able to get it done. Given we don't have a lot of support from it, it's really just the trade unions. So that's probably playing a role, but I don't know that too many people oppose it. Well, I guess there's the industrialists, they might oppose it. And some diplomatic plays have started over here. At least one of them has. All right, they're all abandoning him. Let me just say what's going on here over here in Italy, guys. Okay, it's an aristocratic revolt. Yeah, I don't really care about that. So let's go and declare our neutrality, because we don't care. Still trying to get Russia increased. We'll be able to get them up to a maximum of 50, but we have it high enough where if they find themselves in debt, then we will be able to do that loan. And urbanize the United States of America, we are not even remotely close to that. There isn't a, like a time requirement on this one. But you have to have 75% of all eligible American states have any building with an urban center that is equal to or greater than 5. So you're not going to be able to do that anytime soon. But we do have an urban center that's 20, probably New York. And now we can survey a skyscraper site. And that's going to be 500 bureaucracy. So another thing that requires bureaucracy that we don't have. But lots of options there. So once we're done with this, or I should say once we're done with this and we have the damn taxation pass, we'll start working on getting more bureaucracy. Yeah, we're already in the negative now from adding all the states and population going up as fast as it is. We got the floating harbor, so one port max level increased. Well, that's interesting. So they're no longer rivals here. Oh, and you can see the Civil War right there. Or turmoil or whatever. Yeah, the Italians are having some problems there. Well, that's interesting. That's probably why it took so long to go up. I was wondering why it's been taking us so long to get Russia up. They were at the same time damaging our relations, so decreasing them, while we were trying to increase them, and so that's why it was taking so long there. Yeah, I thought that was taking a really long time. Yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, this is the reason why I was hesitant to go too far up in the construction too quickly, because you can deplete a massive amount of money very quickly, guys. And we had 10 million in our gold reserves, and see we've already burned through that all because of how much construction we're doing. We got the temporary embarrassment event. So we've seen this one before. And that's the one that we don't really want to get again. It just hits our income too much. Yeah, that sucks, because now it's reducing the chance that this is going to pass. We're down to 33.8% now. So it looks like another revolt here. This has a revolt that we don't care about, so let's go and declare our neutrality there. And unfortunately, that is going to have to be the end of today's episode. Got a lot done just in regards to our numbers up here. GDP has increased by like almost 28 million in this episode. And then standard of living, we're moving towards the number 1 slot right now for the best place to live in the world. Also, population has increased quite a bit. But most importantly, look at the number of loyalists. People are so happy with us. 7 million loyalists, only 307,000 radicals. So things are going great in the country. Of course, the radicals are in Arizona, where we haven't really made much efforts to improve their lives. So we probably should focus a little bit more in Arizona. I've said that a couple times. We'll build something there eventually, guys. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you on the next one. And thanks for watching.